Naomi Osaka and Jennifer Brady, arguably the two strongest players in the tournament thus far, square off for a spot in the 2020 US Open Finals. Will the more experienced Osaka reach her third major final, or will Jennifer break through to reach her first? I'll break down this matchup and give my prediction here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today. Naomi opened up against countrywoman Masaki Doi, playing a solid match despite dropping the second set. Her second round against Georgie was a lot more straightforward, as she crushed the Italian 1 and 2. In the third round, she was tested greatly by 18-year-old Marta Kostyuk, pulling off a mini comeback from down 1-2 love 40 in the third to win 6-3, 6-7, 6-2. She cleaned things up significantly, dominating Annette Kontaveit 6-3, 6-4, then American Shelby Rogers with the same scoreline. Jen Brady began with a 3-2 win over Anna Blinkova, followed by an impressive 1-2 rout over fellow American Cici Bellis. She then took out Caroline Garcia, who beat Pliskova, winning that match 6-3, 6-3. Her first-seeded opponent came in three-time major champion Angelique Kerber, and she beat her 6-1, 6-4. Lastly, in the quarterfinals, she outfought Yulia Putintseva, winning 6-3, 6-2. Looking at Osaka and Brady's head-to-head, there's not much to go off of in terms of previous matches, as they only played once at the 2018 Volvo Car Open. Osaka won that match in straights. Thus far, Naomi has been more successful in the big stages, winning 5 titles, 2 of them Grand Slams. Brady, however, leads Osaka in 2020 match wins with 22 compared to 14. Brady also has faced higher ranked players and, in my opinion, just tougher opposition than Osaka. Even more impressive is that Jennifer hasn't lost more than 6 games in any of her matches. For Osaka's keys to the match, she needs to first stretch Brady wide to the backhand. Jennifer's backhand has improved tremendously over the past 12 months, but I think when stretched wide, especially on that injured left leg, problems may arise for her, thus creating more opportunities for Osaka. Naomi also needs to control her ball toss better. The ball toss has been a problem for Osaka since the Western and Southern Open, and against Shelby, she oftentimes had to catch her toss. A few times, the inconsistent ball toss affected her serve, so she needs to iron out that issue before she faces Brady. The third point is to keep hitting her trademark penetrating shots. Brady is most comfortable when the ball is sitting and has time to really dictate with that forehand, so by hitting the ball with good pace and depth, Brady is kept more at bay and is less likely to attack. Another thing Naomi should continue to do is utilize those amazing angles she's been hitting in the tournament thus far. She's been cutting the court off wonderfully, and with her angles, she can pull Brady off the court, thus opening it up. The final point is to play first strike tennis, especially off the serve. Naomi's shot tolerance has remarkably improved, but I believe Brady will win the majority of the baseline rallies as she's slightly more consistent. The first strike play has proven successful for Osaka anyways, as she's won 73% of rallies with 3 or fewer shots when serving. For Brady to be successful, she also needs to hit with great depth because, like herself, Naomi loves when balls are sitting, so she can then go on the offensive. By hitting with more depth, Jennifer can have more opportunities to dictate with a forehand, which is a shot she needs to keep looking for. Her forehand is so deadly, and with the amount of spin she gets, it could be hard for Osaka to counter it with power. Jennifer has to remain strong on serve throughout the match. She's done a great job of this in the tournament so far, barely being broken, but the way Naomi's serving, especially in her past 2 matches, she can't afford a single poor service game, as it can cost her the set and match. The next key plays into the first, which is to target the middle of the court more. This is a play I'll point out in all my keys to the match against Naomi, because Osaka is just deadly when on the run or if the ball is to the side of her. This also creates more angles for her to hit. In contrast, Osaka struggles more when dealt deep heavy shots up the middle, so that's the play Jen has to use pretty often. The final point is to just stay in the moment. A common issue less experienced players in slams have is that when they reach the latter stage, They look all out of sorts and overcome by pressure. Nerves will always be present for Jen, but if she can control them and keep that point-by-point mentality, she should be okay. For my final match prediction, I'm going with Naomi in 3 sets to advance to her second Open final. This match is especially tough for me to preview because both women have played at such a high level, but I think that Brady has actually been the best player of the tournament thus far. I can actually visualize her holding the trophy. She's not one of those players having a fairy tale run. She has proven herself to be a true contender for the title right from the start. I have 2 concerns for her though, which are first the leg and second her nerves. Since playing Kerber, Brady has been dealing with a left leg hamstring issue, and it was bothering her a bit against Putintseva. I'm just unsure if it will hold up, especially if things go late in this match. So far, Jennifer has been great in closing out her matches, but this one will be the biggest of her career, and Naomi is one of the best at fighting back from a deficit. Yesterday, after beating Putintseva, Brady said before the match she was so nervous she almost pooped her pants. Although she may have been exaggerating there, I believe overcoming the nerves and pressure will be a big obstacle to overcome, and we'll see how she handles everything early on. On the more technical side, I think Naomi will also be more prepared for her opponent's game style because she's played someone with great firepower in Shelby Rogers, while the best prep and big hitting Brady has is a few rounds back in Garcia. Jen is used to getting a lot of looks at breaking a return, but likely won't have those same opportunities with Osaka. In the end, I think Osaka's experience and clutchness will get her through, but don't be surprised if Brady follows this prediction. After their quarterfinal victories, Osaka and Brady spoke about this matchup and each other.
I don't feel like the favorite. Weirdly enough, because there's no fans, I don't feel anything. I just feel like I'm, going into a match with a really talented player, which is kind of all my previous matches, anyways. But yeah, for me, I remember playing her. I remember watching her. I watched her match against Putintseva earlier today, and I know that she's a big threat.
I mean, obviously Naomi's won, Grand Slam. She's obviously a great player, very powerful, big serve, big shots off the baseline, 1-2 punch. She's a really good player. I think it'll be a really tough match.
Do you agree with me that Naomi will come through, or will Brady shock the majority to reach her maiden slam final? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever we post new content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.